Phil, walk us through this cut to the growth outlook. Where did it go wrong for them?
You know, the Bank of France is saying that the political uncertainty is really weighing on investment and consumer spending. You can imagine if you were a business owner and you're deciding whether to hire people, you might hold back, given that you don't know what the tax situation is going to look like next year. You don't know what government spending is going to look like next year. So, you know, the Bank of France has dialed back its growth expectations, both for 2025 and 2026. You know, 0.9% growth, that's not enough. France needs a really growing economy to help it get out of this deficit hole that it's in.
Yeah, absolutely. We've talked about that many times, haven't we? And Phil, talking about the deficit hole, many politicians have been trying to fix that, but it's proved difficult, as we have chronicled. What challenges does the new Prime Minister Bayrou have ahead of him then? We understand he's been talking to Le Pen. She feels listened to. He's been talking to the socialists. A lot of conversation happening, but what are the challenges that now exist?
Well, the big challenge is the sort of jigsaw puzzle that is the French Parliament. No one has a majority, and you have some very different political views there. The far left has a big bloc. Marine Le Pen's far right has a big bloc. Bayrou needs to come up with first a government and then a budget that can keep all those people happy. And I mean, the big challenge really is there are no easy answers. The governor of the Bank of France, Francois Bayrou, in putting out this economic report last night, he's out doing the media, and he's giving a message that politicians really don't want to hear. I mean, his point is France is spending too much money, and you know, France spends about 57% of GDP on its government. The average in the Eurozone is around 48%, and he says, you know, that's great, France has wonderful government services, but we have to cut that back, and we have to raise taxes a little bit. So that's the challenge for Bayrou, how to do those things, which neither of which would be very popular.
So, Phil, the great thing about you is you get to cover a little bit of politics and a little bit of the markets as well. So marry the two for us here, simply because we've been talking about this underperformance of the CAC 40. I want to say for at least 6 months now, since those snap elections back over the summer. When does France catch up? What does the equity market investor need to see from France to say, all right, we're gonna reinvest in this index?
One problem the French stock market has is, I guess this might be a good problem to have, it's very international. There's a big chunk of the CAC 40 companies that don't depend on France. You have companies like LVMH, Airbus, they are global companies. But the problem for them is outside of France in many ways. China still not growing very well, struggling to stimulate the economy. And then there's the prospect of tariffs from the US. So it would be great for the French stock market if France got its budget situation under control and the politics were stable. But there's a whole lot of outside forces out there, too, that are sort of weighing down this stock market.